Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know on how to prevent cream makeup from slipping off your face. And this can be so annoying, especially when it's hot after you've just applied your makeup, for it to just melt off. And so we're going to go over everything you need to know to make it last as long as it can. And these are all tricks that I've implemented as well. So I know that they work, and we're just going to get into it. One, primer. So this is super important, and prepping your skin is important in general, but if you have oily skin, I want you to listen up. Primer is super important because it's going to allow the makeup to stick onto your skin. And when it comes to oily skin, makeup is prone to slipping off of your skin. So make sure that you're using a sticky primer, and if you have dry skin, just use a hydrating and dewy primer, but it's not really necessary for dry skin. And another thing that primer helps with is filling in pores, fine line, texture, etc. So there's just a lot of benefits to using primer. In addition to primer, make sure that you're washing your face before you apply any makeup and then applying moisturizer. So the order really should be wash your face, apply moisturizer, then apply primer, just so that you have a really nice even base ready for that makeup, and it's also going to last a lot longer if you prep your skin correctly. Number 2, application. So this is something that's super important to remember, but the way that you apply your cream makeup products really matters, probably more than any other type of makeup product. And so make sure that you're not using a beauty blender. A lot of people tend to get this wrong, but if you use a beauty blender, especially a damp one, it's gonna soak up that blush, and you don't want that because it's just gonna disappear. Instead, start using a blush brush, and you're gonna see that this distributes way better. It's not gonna soak up the product, and it's just gonna leave your skin looking really nice. Number 3, apply powder blush over it, or just powder makeup in general over it. So this is something that's super useful to know, but after you've applied any cream makeup product, it's important to follow up with it with a powder makeup product. So let's say you just applied some cream blush. You're gonna think of that as your base. Then you're gonna go over it with a powder blush to lock it in, and you're gonna see that this lasts way longer, and the cream blush is kind of setting a base for that powder blush so that it stays on your skin as long as it can, and it's also just going to look way better and last longer. And this applies to bronzer as well. So if you're applying something like cream bronzer, make sure to go over it with powder bronzer so that it works the best that it can and lasts as long as well. Number 4, light layer. So it's important to remember that with any type of cream makeup product, it's important to apply it in light layers so that you don't apply too much, because it's very pigmented. Typically, cream bronzers and blushes will be super pigmented. It's important to remember to apply it in light layers so that you're not overdoing it, because it's really pigmented and it can go south real quick. And so what I recommend doing is applying it on the back of your hand and kind of just getting your brush to pick it up, or you can just apply it directly onto the brush, but make sure that you're doing like a patch test before, just so that it doesn't end up splotchy or too pigmented. Number 5, setting powder. So this is one of my favorite hacks for long-lasting cream makeup, but sweep some setting powder over your makeup once you're done. Is a pressed powder, and this is the Kosas setting powder, and this is great to apply after foundation or after you're done with all of your makeup and just kind of want to mattify it a little bit. The second one is the e.l.f. HD powder. Now this one is so good, and one word to describe it is brightening. It's gonna give your skin such a bright finish, and it can honestly, if you use too much, it's gonna look a little crazy, but it's so good. And so I totally recommend that if you're going for something like a super bright under eye, like right here, actually you see it's super bright. That's because of that powder. And so it's really important that you just lock it in with a little bit of powder, and you can use a fluffy brush and just kind of sweep it all over your face, and then you're gonna be good to go. Setting spray. So this is an additional thing that you can do just so that your makeup lasts as long as it can, but apply some setting spray over all over your face once you're done with your makeup, and you're gonna find that this just locks in the makeup so that it can last as long as it can. Number 7, translucent powder on eyes. So this, I actually just discovered this after playing around with my makeup, but if you wear, this is actually cream eyeshadow on my eyes right now, but if you wear a lot of cream eyeshadow and you find that it tends to fade after a few hours, because that is common because it is prone to fading off, you can apply some translucent powder over your eyes with a fluffy, clean eyeshadow brush, and this is just gonna lock it in, allowing it to look as good as it can for hours on end. I remember I wore this to school one time, like in the morning last year, and by the time I'd come home, it looked the same. And so, yeah, I just used the e.l.f. HD powder, the one that I mentioned above. And yeah, that one's just really good. And that's all I use to make it last and look so pretty. And there you have it. This was a pretty quick little guide, but I'm gonna link my blog post down below and my blog, beginnersguidetomakeup.com, if you want to learn all about makeup for beginners. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day, everyone. Bye. Oh, be sure to like too.